Hola guys. Lunch. Got some feta cheese. It's a Greek like olive feta cheese medley. Then I found some lemon mayonnaise. I don't know why. I just wanted to try it and I thought it'd be good to pair up with chicken. Even though lemon's for fish, but whatever. And then I have some sour cream and some sriracha in here. Just mixed it up. Diet Coke. Someone just texted me. Diet Coke. Mini. Got my napkin because I know it's going to get messy. I'm going to have to hold this up. You guys see it okay? Bon appetit. Father God, thank you for this food. Thank you for all of my blessing. Oh God, please forgive me for saying bon appetit. That just kind of doesn't go together, but sorry. Start over. Father God, thank you for this food. Thank you for all of my blessings, seen and unseen. And thank you for today. In Jesus' holy, gracious name, amen. That wasn't to be meant to be funny, and I felt bad about that, so sorry. All right, so let's try it in the lemon. This bite's for you. Ah! How do I bring it closer? Oh, an olive. The way my kitchen's angled, that's not a good way. But, I even tried at the table. All right, let's try sriracha. Feta. I need to make something like right here to hold it up. I like it, but let's try to do it one more time. Lemon. Ooh, that would be good with nuggies. Definitely sriracha. I'm not hating though. Heated them up in my air fryer. All right, guys, I'm gonna put this down so I can dunk. Let's see. Let's give you guys some story times. I need to think before I come on here. Feta cheese. Or we can just talk. I already told you about my rings. It used to be, I see a vein, I'm done. That doesn't bother me so much. Good stuff. So, I'm not sure if I don't know if I told you guys, one of my daughters moved. Really happy for them. I had a A wing and a thigh. That's what I order. I don't get the breast. I don't know. Does anybody else like the breast? That crunch. So I'm real sad about that, but happy at the same time. I'll just give you some life updates. My dad and my sister are doing good. They got approved for housing. So we're just waiting on that. Oh, it was his 73rd birthday on the 10th. Of October. I called there and FaceTimed them. And I was like, what is he doing? She put him on FaceTime. He was sporting a girl's jacket. Look cute on him. He didn't care. Let me try the lemon and the sriracha. How about that? I'm a sauce girl. I like sauces. So they're doing good. Someone broke into their hotel room. So sad. They barely even have anything. And you know this, the people who have less give more. They totally do. So my dad would give like the shirt off his back. Ow. Another granddaughter coming here in a few days. I should say a few weeks. Well, less than a few weeks. So I'm excited about that. Another little baby. I told you guys. I don't remember what I tell you and what I don't tell you. The big guy had an MRI. He has a mass. If it had grown, they were gonna, it was already leveled to stage 4, but if it had grown at all from the last MRI, that they wanted it to grow. So he would be put on the liver transplant list ASAP. However, it didn't grow. For most people, you'd be like, yes, and we are yes. However, it went from a stage 4 to a stage 3. They lowered it. He also had an upper and lower endoscopy done. And they did biopsies on a couple things. Came back benign. So that's really good. Okay, so bad news of it coming back, good news. Now he has to wait longer. They found some varices in this way, and the endoscopy they did this way, and then this way, but they found some here. They banded it, and now he won't be checked for varices for a year unless he has issues. The good thing about that is he doesn't have to have one. He can resume his life as much as possible. What he calls it somewhat normal. He doesn't like to be put under, and I wouldn't either, as many times as he has. It takes a big chance because he is getting older of shit happening. We don't want that shit to happen because then it'll be less for him to get a liver. So, all right, hold on one sec, guys. I had in my air fryer. One more piece. Put it on my plate and I was like, do I really want 2, 3 pieces of chicken? No. But after I was eating it, yes. So we don't want stuff to happen like his kidneys or gets heart issues because then it takes him down on the list. Right now he's a perfect candidate. His heart's strong. So, us worrying about, yes, is it going to come back cancerous? Most people are like, no, but they wanted yes. So, good news. If nothing happens, he doesn't get checked for a year. They rescan him for an MRI and an endoscopy in a year. Unless he has a problem. So that's that. I can only want my chicken. That's pretty much. New baby. Update on Big Eye. Told you about my rings. Oh, it's really crunchy. Oh, chewy. That's pretty much it, guys. Yeah. I gotta do the dishes right now. Oh. Slow down. I'm so sad about the Gabby Petito. What do you all think about that? That's sad. I love her parents too. And do you all think he's alive? Or do you think he's dead? I think he's a coward and, well, he's a coward, but think he offed himself? I got ate by alligators. Curious. I love chicken. Not normally. Get into this. Finger looking good. I don't normally worry about COVID. I mean, I do, and I take precaution. But I'm really worried about it right now. I think this winter is gonna be bad. I mean, it's bad always, but I think it's just because everybody wore their masks all last year. And it's just going to be really bad. Like everybody, because normally, sorry, our bodies fight stuff off. Normally. Last year we all wore masks, so we really didn't fight anything big off during the winter. I think this year it's going to be hard for our bodies to fight double, you know? I mean, that's just in theory. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I hope not. That was delicious. Fatty. I got some coleslaw to eat with it, but I was like, no, I want the olives and the feta cheese. Oh my Lord. I need a toothpick. So yeah, so tell me what you think about the Gabby Petito thing. And then tell me what you think about the COVID in this winter. So I was kind of like, I don't wear the mask in the store because I want to build up my immunity and have my body fight like it should. But what do you guys think? And who all got the shot? And did you have any reactions to it? Big guy got COVID pneumonia last January, December. It was bad. I think I don't know. I gotta look back and see if I told you guys about that. But yeah, he got COVID pneumonia. I drive him to the hospital. I didn't find this out, mind you, for like probably about a couple months ago. He never told me this. He told somebody else and I overheard it. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I took him to the hospital. He said he'll keep me informed on everything that's going on. I stayed in the parking lot. I didn't want to go home. He said, just go home. Like 3 hours later, just go home. They're going to admit me. I do have COVID pneumonia. And they're not going to let you in. So just go home. So I waited there a few more hours, writing him, seeing, you know. I had a sense of where I was right next to him. I didn't want to go. So they admitted him. He was there for like 2 days, day and a half, something like that. And he says, they're going to release me, come and get me. And I was like, oh, thank God. How can they release you with COVID pneumonia? Because his oxygen was dropping. He said they're going to just give me a bunch of medication and it would be good just to go home and heal. And I had, prior to all that, I had called the ambulance on him a few days before because he wasn't responsive to me. And the ambulance came and didn't come in our house. They were all COVID, you know, geared up, made him come outside and did his vitals and did everything and said, you know, his oxygen's over 80. Not sure if he has COVID or not before we found out. But if he was my family member, I would have him heal at home if he does have COVID. So I was like, oh, that's weird, but okay. And then when they sent him home for the hospital, I was like, wow, maybe it is just better for people to go home and heal, you know, less stressful. I don't know. Anyways, fast forward months, a couple months ago, I'm sitting there and he's telling my son-in-law, he was in ICU, never told me that. He said he was just in the ER and they took him to the COVID unit and then we're releasing him a day and a half later or something like that. No, they wanted to intubate him because his oxygen was lower than 80. He refused because he didn't want to be intubated, especially with his liver failure. He says, just give me my medicine and I'll go home. And what had happened when he says this is what he was telling me when he was in the hospital. I'm in a room, like in a closet, because it's not a normal room and it has like supplies in here. This is what he was telling me. And that there's a bunch of supplies, not even in a room. Meanwhile, that was never happening. He was in frickin' ICU. And that they're going to send him home with a bunch of medicine. And they're going to have somebody from the hospital come by the following next day in the evening to check on him. Which, by the way, didn't come for like 2 days after. So long story short, he was in ICU. They wanted to intubate him. He said he told my son-in-law, if I was going to pass, I wouldn't want to pass being intubated by myself. I'd rather go home around family. And I'm like, wait, what the frick did I just hear? He was like, oh, he kind of outed himself. But I was like, yeah, he was going through that all by himself. Didn't tell me. They wanted to intubate him. He came home. He was sick. I was wearing a mask and then a face shield. I was helping him with everything he needed to be helped with. And then I would open everything up and then go outside and sit for hours on end unless he needed me. I'd run back in, make him something to eat, check his oxygen, his temperature. I'd run back out, sanitize, change my clothes. It was like, he didn't resume any sort of normalcy for probably months. That affected him for months. Dude. He's done that too before. I don't know why he doesn't tell me stuff. Years ago when we first got together, well, it was in the first year, I got a call that he was going to the ER from work. He was at work and he fell at work and he hurt his head and he was going to ER. Decades later, I find out that he was working the night shift and he was putting supplies or inventory up and someone came in. It was a liquor store. This was years ago. It was like years ago. Clocked him right in the head with the bat. I just found this out not too long ago. I mean, years later, like decades and decades later. I'm like, are you kidding me now? You have to tell me stuff like that. I didn't want you to think I was a pussy. I was like, I would never think that. And he goes, well, the guy was taken care of. And I was like, what the hell? He went on, when he came back to work, he went on the surveillance and saw who it was. He knew who it was. But since the coward hit him from the back with the bat, he didn't think he saw him. I don't think they cracked out and didn't know there's video recordings, but he knew who it was. And the guy had ended up coming back in and just say that he didn't have a job anymore. He whipped his ass. Yep, up and down. Inside the store, outside the store. He said, I got payback. But yeah, got fired though. He looks back at that. He would have never have done that. Did I ever tell you about the time? Oh my God. Okay, so now it's going. Big guy again. He was in his truck. He was going to get us some lunch. This was like 25 years ago. He's in his truck and he's at a stoplight. No, a stop sign? Stop sign or stoplight. I'm assuming stoplight because it was a main street where we used to live. And a guy started walking across the street. So he's like driving and he's, of course you look at someone who's walking by and, and he's looking at the guy and the guy's like, whoa, dude, bad day. Well, the guy didn't like how my husband was looking at him. And he came around to the driver's side and punched the window. So it's a truck. He had it in first gear because he was just waiting for him to pass. He was going to go. He told me about this one. He said when he punched it, he was like, oh, hell no. He didn't break the window, but he was punching the window. So he has his seatbelt on and he's trying to lunge out of the seatbelt and get the door open, but this guy's like pushing on the door. And so he swings the seatbelt off and then opens the door. His feet come off of the pedals because he was lunging out. The car lunged and hit the corner of the door, hit the guy in the throat because it lunged back because we got his foot off the brakes or the, you know, the gears or whatever, because it was in first gear. It lunged and hit the guy in the throat, and the guy was like on his knees in the middle of the street, and he's like, dude, I didn't have to whip his ass or anything. My car kicked his ass. Literally, we still to this day don't know what happened to that guy, but the ambulance came and took him. The truck lunged and throat punched him right in here, this area. And he couldn't breathe. He was like, so he had to call the ambulance. The ambulance came, picked him up, and never knew why he came around and punched him, but he would never do that again. Our car kicked his arse. Yeah, that's scary. He's had some weird shit too. He had another guy coming home from working a night shift. So it was daylight. It was in the morning. And he was coming home, and all of a sudden he was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? He's driving, and a guy has a boulder like this over his head, and he lunged it at him driving. He said, I was going about 45 miles an hour. Thank God that it didn't hit me. But he said, yeah, he just lunged it and he ran and threw this big old boulder at his car. So thank God that didn't hit him. He said another time, that same street, he was driving and a dog came out and just kind of like ran out and looked at him like, hi, I'm gonna die right now. And yeah, that wasn't, he didn't survive. But he goes, I'll never forget the dog's face. It's like he wanted to die. He ran in the street and looked at me like, I want to die. Weird shit happens to him. In his line of work, there's another thing too. About 20 years ago, he said he went up into an attic to inspect it. Found $30,000. They were in like bunches. What are you doing? He didn't count it or anything, but that's what it said on him. Like 30. He added those, the big, what do you call them? Things of bills that were all together. But he counted what was on those, and it was like around 30,000. And he was like, damn. And it was hidden up there. So he knew that was just a wife. Went down and told her, hey, you know, we found this up here. And she goes, where, what? And he was like, yeah, we found this money. It was hiding up there. And she goes, oh, my husband did stuff like that all the time. You know, finding stuff everywhere. Thank you. Like, no big deal. Not like, here's a $5, thank you. It didn't even faze her. She was like, ugh. Lady, you're lucky he was honest. And there was another time too, he went up and there was a safe and it was open and it was filled with $100 bills. Told the people, you might want to keep that shut. So, yeah, he's a good guy. I love him. He just needs to tell me shit that goes on. All right. Well, it's almost 30 minutes. Love you guys. I have a bunch of recordings, so I'm going to try to put out as much. I think I'm putting out 2 today. Just to let you know, hi, I'm back. I say that and then you don't see me for a year. Huh? So we shall see. Ugh. No, it does not taste good. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Toodle noodles, asta pasta, later gator, big meatball loves and hugs. But bump.